from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Mackenzie Noble.
And I'm Sophie Farrell. Our top story today, a sexual assault happened at Devaney Sports Center. The University of Nebraska-Lincoln Police Department is investigating a third-degree sexual assault that happened on Saturday at the Devaney Sports Complex, where an unidentified man grabbed a woman without her consent. The suspect is described as a 50 to 60-year-old man wearing a navy blue t-shirt. UNLPD says there is no present danger to students or community members. The goal is to bring awareness to the students and campus and encourage reporting similar situations. If you have any information on the incident, contact UNLPD at 402-472-2222.
The world of college athletics is changing rapidly. The new protocol process might make coaches' lives harder, but as Nebraska Nightly Ellen Pham reports, it could mean building new connections for young athletes.
Second chances don't come around often. For Reese Beckley and Nia Kraus, UNL proved to be another opportunity in collegiate gymnastics. In the middle of the 2023 season, their former university in Missouri abruptly announced the cut of 10 sports programs, including women's gymnastics.
When Lindenwood got cut, I began to start my recruiting process again a week after. I sent emails to as many D1 schools I wanted to maybe compete for. So then Lindenwood actually competed with Nebraska in March. And so Heather was like, you might as well come on a visit. So I was like, okay. So I went on a visit after the meet, and I instantly fell in love with the school.
Even though during the season when we were here, I was like, I'm going to be done with gymnastics. I'm very complacent with my career. When we competed there, it was their senior night, and I told my mom afterwards, there's nowhere I'd go to gymnastics except for Nebraska. Turns out they did have a girl transfer, a spot opened up, and then I was able to come here.
Beckley and Kraus kicked off their gymnastics career when they were just a year old, and they stayed committed to chasing their lifelong dream ever since.
They're just feeling blessed to really have that one, the opportunity to continue the sport, but two, the support and the resources that we provide for our student athletes.
It's not an easy sport, but it's one that will change you as a human, and I'm forever grateful that I do the sport of gymnastics.
College gymnastics programs are being cut frequently around the country. That's one thing this team doesn't want to see.
I think we're, as a program, in a space where we need to continue to grow and continue to find people that want to do that work with me.
Coach Brink is pleased with the strengths Beckley and Kraus bring to the team, and it bodes well for the future of the sport in Lincoln. Nebraska Nightly, Ellen Pham.
Bringing a new perspective of hope to the team, the women are looking forward to competing for the Huskers in the upcoming season.
6 UNL female student athletes were recently featured in a political ad persuading voters against ballot initiative 439. Softball players Jordy Ball, the Kaminzin twins, Abby Squire, and Malia Tomes, and volleyball player Rebecca Alec are all featured, with each athlete speaking out against initiative 439. Following the release of the ad, paid for by Protect Women and Children, the athletes received pushback on social media. One comment on X read, quote, "They have no idea what they're talking about. Stick to ball." Other comments voiced their concern over the athletes potentially receiving payment for appearing in the ad. Softball player Jordy Ball posted her response on X saying, quote, "Imagine people seeing a commercial done with 6 young women supporting pro-life movement and immediately jumping to the conclusion that they were paid to take part. Nope, none of us received a penny. We just aren't afraid to take a stand and protect life." Since her post, Ball and the other athletes have received reports on social media by many traditionally right-leaning accounts, such as Women's Advocate and former swimmer Riley Gaines and Fox News.
3 people are in the hospital after a Bellevue home exploded last night. The victims were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The explosion happened in the area of 50th and Robin Drive around 11 p.m. Thursday night. There were 7 people at the house at the time of the incident. The Bellevue fire chief says that food was being cooked in the garage with a propane cooktop and gas.
A severe windstorm left Falls City with lots of cleanup on Wednesday. Wind gusts reached 90 miles per hour. Trees were uprooted, power lines fell, and residents' roofs caved in all around 1 p.m. Surrounding cities like Auburn and Nebraska City have sent help to Falls City to assist cleanup. Lots of locals were left without power.
As we continue reaching the midpoint of the semester, let's explore how UNL students impact local businesses. Nebraska Nightly's Brady Cornelius reports that from sweet treats to boutiques, Your presence at Haymarket supports the economy and fosters community connections.
There are many sweet treats and dining options in Lincoln. Avonacone is a hot spot for students and other commuters.
Yeah, so I've worked here at Avonacone for 2 years. I'm a shift lead. So as soon as students start moving in, we get a lot of crowds of Greek life.
Football game days require readiness to keep up with the workflow from constant buyers.
It's always kind of like a thing in the shop. Like everybody knows, like it's game day. Like you have to get here early to find parking. You just got to come into the shift prepared. It feels very vibrant and very Nebraska, so yeah.
Wearing red is an essential part of Nebraska's community. Game days bring a lot of customers to the Forever Faithful boutique.
Having students on campus actually improves our business a lot, especially during like game seasons. We improve, especially during football season. Everyone comes in for our gear.
The off-season gives workers a break from having to keep up with the shoppers coming and going.
There's not that much of a dynamic of let's go get Husker gear. We have a big game coming up. Like everyone needs new gear and stuff. We need a new outfit to wear to the game. And then, yeah, basketball season happens, PBA is right next door, and so it'll pick up beforehand and stuff, but it's completely different than football season. Even during the summer, it kind of dies down a little bit, but the dynamic of the Haymarket stays the same, but the students is what brings us in a lot.
The Haymarket is thriving, and students are leading the economy, creating the best shopping district in all of Lincoln. Brady Cornelius, Nebraska Nightly.
And Nebraska Nightly videographer Miles Durkin helped produce that story from Haymarket Park. And it's finally been cooling down in Lincoln. We now go to meteorologist Dominic Ferraro. Dominic?
Thank you, Mackenzie. We'll see cooler temperatures, not quite the severe threat we saw the other day, but rain in the forecast for game day tomorrow. Nebraska taking on UCLA. We'll start out mostly clear skies in the mornings, working our way up into the mid-50s by the time we're talking tailgating hours. Then rain and showers working their way into the area closer to game time. Kickoff at 2:30 p.m. We're expecting the temperature to be 60 degrees. Winds will be out of the southeast between 10 and 15 miles per hour, and we're going to expect that rainfall to continue throughout the course of the game tomorrow. So it could be a wet one. That wind is definitely also going to play a factor as we look for game conditions and field surface conditions throughout the course of the afternoon. And today is the first day of November, so taking a look at our averages for November, we're expecting high temperatures. About 50 degrees is our average high. Usually we see our first day of snowfall. It usually occurs around November 17th. The last time we saw a November with no snow was all the way back in 2017. So we could be looking at our first chance of snow here. So far, no snow in the forecast. However, plenty of rain. I'll have more about that and the rest of your forecast coming up after the break.
Coming up after the break.
Trial begins for a manslaughter case.
DNA on a beer can reveals a Montana campsite murder.
And a student faces felony charges after casting an illegal ballot when we return.
Never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Well, a new month is here. Let's go to Dominic Ferraro to see what kind of weather November will bring. Dominic?
Thank you. Got a beautiful start to November today. Right now in the capital city, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures sitting right now in the mid-60s. Winds out of the south between 10 and 15 miles per hour, so a little breezy. But other than that, a nice fall day to start off November for us here. Satellite imagery across the country right now, mostly clear across the central part of the country. Still some clouds working their way, just kind of lingering along with an associated upper level disturbance that we saw work its way through the area the past couple days. That brought us that rain earlier this week, and still some just stringy clouds working their way across the country associated with that. Seeing a little bit of a cumulus field starting to develop between the Kansas and Nebraska border, but other than that, across the state, mostly clear skies. And once again, just beautiful fall day as we work our way into November here. Current radar showing the same thing. Not much. That's how we like it. However, that's going to change coming up here in the next day or so. Statewide temperatures right now, 56 out in Shadron, 58 in Scottsbluff. Working our way into the 60s, 60 in Valentine, North Platte, 64 in McCook right now, also tying the state high here with the capital city, 61 in Ord, 62 in Norfolk, and 61 degrees for your current temperature in Omaha. Now for tonight, partly cloudy skies, lows dropping down into the lower 40s. We'll see winds shift to be out of the south-southeast between 5 and 10 miles per hour. And into tomorrow, we'll be into the 60s for the high temperatures. Afternoon showers definitely a possibility. So as you're going out to the game tomorrow, definitely going to want to bring a jacket, maybe some sort of poncho to keep yourself dry. There, winds out of the southeast between 10 and 15 miles per hour. And election day is coming up on Tuesday, so here's your election day forecast. We'll see maybe a stray chance of a shower or two in the morning, cloudy skies. We work our way into the afternoon by 11 a.m. lunch hour if you're taking that lunch hour to go out and vote. Mostly clear skies, temperatures into the mid-50s before working into the afternoon. That high temperature topping out at 54 degrees. Sunny and breezy for your election day here in Lincoln. Winds out of the west-northwest between 10 and 15 miles per hour. And your 7-day forecast, lots of chances for rain, and we definitely need the rain. We've been in a drought across most of the state for the good part of the last couple of weeks, and we can see rain chances on Saturday into Sunday as well, and even into Monday. Monday, chance for a stray shower or thunderstorm as well. Tuesday, again, mostly clear skies and breezy before working our way into the later half of the week. We'll warm up a little bit on Wednesday, partly sunny skies, temperatures into the upper 50s. Thursday will be mostly sunny before once again seeing a rain chance return on Friday, and high temperatures topping out into the middle 50s. Back to you.
Thank you, Dominic. Well, a can of beer makes national news as it helps to solve a Montana murder case. Montana native Darren Abbey was arrested this week and confessed to the murder of 35-year-old Dustin Gearsome.
This individual struck Dustin Gearsome with a piece of solid wood, stabbed him in the neck with a screwdriver, and ultimately hit him with the axe.
Detectives found Abby's DNA on a beer can left behind at the crime scene. While in custody, Abby confessed to murdering Gearsome, saying Gearsome offered Abby the beer after being invited into Gearsome's campsite. Gearsome's body was found on October 12th, but Abby wasn't arrested until last Saturday when police found him in Butte, 80 miles northwest of the crime scene. Gallatin County Sheriff Dan Springer says the investigation could take months, but they finally have a story to follow.
The trial of Marine veteran charged with second-degree manslaughter started opening statements today. Danielle Penny was charged with the murder of Jordan Neely after he placed him in a chokehold on a New York City subway in May of 2023. Neely was allegedly threatening to kill people on the train. After being placed in a chokehold for several minutes, police arrived on the scene. Neely was still breathing but died moments later. Penny faces up to 19 years in prison if convicted.
A Chinese student at the University of Michigan is facing felony charges after registering and casting a ballot in the presidential election, despite not being a U.S. citizen. Brett Cast has more.
Around a college, realize it's election season, and at the University of Michigan, early voting is already underway.
Everybody here, they shove in your face like, oh, are you voting? Are you voting? Vote early. Like, everybody needs to vote. And like, they don't even ask if you're American, and we have a lot of international students.
But Michigan junior Max Friedman was not happy to learn a fellow student from China, who is not a U.S. citizen, was able to not only register to vote, but also cast a ballot on campus.
So I'm not surprised that it happened, but I'm surprised that like it actually counted and they actually got credit for voting.
According to the Secretary of State's office, the 19-year-old student went to the campus early voting site Sunday, registered to vote using his UMID card, showed documents proving residency in Ann Arbor, and signed a document identifying as a U.S. citizen. Since the ballot was filled out and put into the tabulator, there's no way to take it back, and it will count this election.
I was very surprised. I didn't expect it to be possible because when I voted, it required a lot of proof.
UM freshman Benjamin Zhang spent a decade in China but was born in the U.S. However, he has friends who aren't citizens, like Xing Shenli, also from China, who said he's not surprised the student who voted is facing a felony charge.
I kind of expect that because I know how voting is the right as a citizen, and it's a big deal. So any foreigner don't want to mess with it.
The issue was discovered after the student contacted the Ann Arbor clerk's office and asked to get the ballot back. The clerk then reported it to police.
This is the one time it was documented. How many other times is this happening that we don't really know about?
In a statement, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson said, quote, "Non-citizen voting is an extremely isolated and rare event. Investigations in multiple states and nationwide have found no evidence of large numbers of non-citizens registering to vote. Even less common is a non-citizen actually casting a ballot. When it does happen, we take it extremely seriously."
This is the first known case of an international student voting in a presidential election. And coming up after the break,
Husker football returns to Memorial Stadium.
Women's volleyball takes on top 10 Wisconsin.
And a look at the next of Nebraska basketball season, all after the break.
Don't let it happen to other Big Ten schools. Go to saveourdinos.org to learn more.
Well, it's a busy time for Husker athletics, and sports anchor Trey Marler has more. Trey?
After nearly a month away from home, Nebraska football returns inside Memorial Stadium tomorrow against UCLA. But the team that takes the field will be with some new pieces. Due to injuries, the Nebraska defense will look to some younger players to step up in the place of the veterans. Jeremiah Charles, the freshman from Arlington, Texas, will get the start at defense. And yesterday, Matt Rule praised the freshman, saying he was ready for the challenge.
Building their confidence, building, it's a lot different when you're older and you've played a lot and you've had good days and bad days and you can do it. When you're young, if you have a bad play, you think it's condemning of your ability. But it's not. Jeremiah is going to be an excellent player. This will be quite a challenge, and he's practiced well this week. He'll be ready.
Two Huskers who are not expected to play tomorrow are defensive backs Malcolm Hartzog and Tommy Hill. Hartzog injured his hamstring in the loss last week versus Ohio State, while Tommy Hill is still battling a foot injury. Nebraska volleyball is back in action tonight for a top 10 matchup in Madison, Wisconsin. First serve for the Huskers and Badgers is set for 8 p.m. Central. The Huskers' lone loss last season came in the Wisconsin Fieldhouse, and the Huskers will be looking to get revenge tonight. The matchup will air on the Big Ten Network. To Bingo Bank Arena, where Nebraska basketball is just days away from its 2024 season opener versus Texas Rio Grande Valley. The Huskers took the floor in an exhibition last Sunday versus Grand Valley State, winning 73-53. But this is the real deal. And for the Huskers, who are coming off an NCAA tournament berth last season, it's the first step toward the main goal.
When the lights turn on for the first time, when it's for real, guys all of a sudden get away from what has been making us a pretty good team. I'm excited to get rolling. We're playing a really, really good basketball team. I know I've talked about this, a team that hit 25 threes, so we're going to have to do a great job getting back. They're really good in transition.
To women's hoops, where all eyes are on freshman phenom Britt Prince. The 5-star from Elkhorn will take the floor for the first time on Monday when the number 23 ranked Huskers face UNO. And for head coach Amy Williams, she says it's been the veterans that have helped Prince acclimate to the college stage.
Helped Britt be able to just feel comfortable, being able to come into this program and be herself, have no fear of failure, just put yourself out there and we believe in you, and I think that's really helped Britt to play free.
Now we're going to end the sportscast this evening on a more somber note. Matt Kelly, a longtime Nebraska sportscaster, passed away at the age of 54 last Friday after a year-long fight with colon cancer. Kelly was one of a kind, a legend, many would say. He spent 2 years as a sports reporter at KETV in Omaha, 4 years as sports director here in Lincoln at KOKN, and was most recently a sports photographer in Las Vegas, where he was ringside for Golden Knights hockey and outside the octagon for UFC fights. I was blessed with the chance to know Matt, whether it was in the stands in Vegas or under the seats at the College World Series. Matt was a mentor to me and an even better friend, and boy did he have some stories. So today we leave you with some of Matt's best moments, covering sports the only way he knew how, with his own little twists. Rest in peace, Matt Kelly. You will be dearly missed.
All right, everybody, Super Bowl Sunday is the single largest betting day of the year in Las Vegas. I'm getting ready to go out there and make some fast cash. Have everything I need, this toothbrush, and my lucky Nebraska hat. Gotta go. Amon's biggest moment down in Stillwater came in the fourth quarter. The Huskers were lined up at the 14. The handoff went to Green. He breaks 3 tackles and high steps his way into the end zone as he scores his first touchdown as a Nebraska Cornhusker. It might not be the U.S. Open or the Masters. These people out here today at Shadow Ridge are just happy to contribute to a worthy cause and watch some of the finest players in the game. I way to Vegas via the economy route. For Newswatch 7 Sports, I'm Matt Kelly. Hey, John, leave your answering machine on. I might need you to wire me some money.
On Nebraska Nightly.
It's going to be a big weekend here in Lincoln with lots to look forward to. Entertainment reporter Joe Bierbauer has more. Joel?
Looking for a good laugh after Halloween? UNL's very own Lotzie Improv Troupe will be hosting an improv show in the Crib at Nebraska Union on Friday, November 1st. The show will start at 7 p.m. and will be free and open to the public. The Ray Ross Media Arts Center will be showcasing fiction, documentary, and animated short films for their Sundance Short Film Tour. This event goes from November 1st to the 7th, and you can go to their website to look up showtimes. In partnership with the Lux Center for the Arts, the Nebraska History Museum will be having a free admission event in celebration of the Day of the Dead this Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Festivities include arts and crafts, a scavenger hunt, and learning how Day of the Dead is celebrated across the state of Nebraska. That's what's happening on campus. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Joel. A bizarre googly eye eclipse is caught on camera.
And a supernova spotted in the 12th century gets a 3D update.
Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Today we are totally spaced out as we look at a handful of wild interstellar whatnot that's simply out of this world. First, take a look at what looks like something taking a look at us. This so-called cosmic googly eye was captured on Mars by NASA's Intrepid Perseverance rover during a recent solar eclipse. It was a product of Mars' lumpy potato-shaped moon Phobos, passing between the red planet and the sun. If the loopy look looks familiar, it's because it isn't the first time. Back in 2019, the Curiosity rover captured an internet-worthy transit, and that interstellar eye roll went viral. The latest spooky stare from up there may not go viral, but the video did arrive just in time for the Halloween season. Not creepy enough for you? How about this way more intense deep space gaze that comes courtesy of 2 telescopes? What's been dubbed the blood-soaked eyes is a pair of spiral galaxies passing each other in close proximity, relatively speaking. The image combines mid-infrared light from the James Webb Telescope with visible and ultraviolet light from the Hubble to give the passing pair a macabre look as it gazes at us as if to say, "Look upon me and despair, mere mortals." Yes, spiral galaxies do in fact sound like Gandalf the Wizard. It's science, people. Finally, this last one is a trippy and time-traveling taste of what a supernova may have looked like centuries ago. A recent discovery of a nebula led astrophysicists to track it back to what was reportedly a massive supernova first observed by astronomers in the 10th century. Using modern tech, they were able to map the remnants and recreate the centuries-old explosion in stunning 3D glory. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Well, it's awfully crazy how that Halloween eyeball thing happened on Halloween.
Yeah, it seems very good timing for all of that
I
to
know,
happen.
but a little creepy.
Very
I
creepy,
might
would
say. But the stars were nice last night. You know, it's finally stopped raining.
Yeah.
I feel like it's raining and chilly now.
Yeah, but it was a nice Halloween night.
It was. It was. A couple trick-or-treaters, though, not as many as I anticipated.
No, yeah, I feel like it's not as popular as it used to be.
I know, and it's kind of sad.
It is
but,
sad.
you
Sad
know.
to see.
Well, let's take one last look at the weather this weekend with Dominic.
Well, Mackenzie, those rain chances are coming back into the forecast for game day tomorrow. We'll see temperatures into the low 60s, afternoon showers. Right around kickoff time is when those showers begin to work their way into our area. And then into Sunday, remember, daylight saving time ends on Sunday, so we get a little extra hour of sleep. However, rain is going to stick around. We'll be into the upper 60s for your temperatures there, and rain chances continue into Monday. Could see a stray thunderstorm or two possible on Monday as well, but temperatures in the lower 60s and some much-needed rain.
Yes, that's true. That's a good way to look at it, because I'm a little upset that our first game day in a while at home is going to be rainy. I mean, seriously, I'm going to have to go buy a poncho.
Yeah, but maybe it's time to whip out my Nebraska Huskers poncho.
Yes.
So I'm a little bit excited about that.
Give it a little bedazzle,
Yes,
you know. I love to
exactly.
see it. I love to see it. But yeah, so this rain, I mean, you know, I'll take it though, because it has been dry.
It has. Very dry.
Yeah.
Very dry. So we'll take the rain, but yeah, I'm going to miss the weather from those first couple home games.
All this dead grass I've been stepping on is I'm getting a little sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wear my raincoat. I'm gonna try to stay as dry as we can. You know, if it wasn't for Dominic, I'd just be soaking wet at the game.
Yeah,
me too. I would have no
Shout
idea.
out Dominic.
Honestly,
he's gonna keep us all dry.
I know. So I guess we'll see how tomorrow goes with the game, because being in the stands might be a little hard for me. But
anything to be a Huskers fan.
I'm gonna have to hold my hair back with like a cap or something. We'll see.
Thank you for watching Nebraska Nightly. Make sure to tune in next Tuesday for our regular show.
And stick around for election coverage Tuesday night. Our coverage will begin around 7 p.m. And Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
See you all on Tuesday on Nebraska Nightly.